Good evening, everyone. We're learning disturbing new details tonight about the family shot and killed in Duluth.
The suspect is a family member who posted a threat on social media about harming himself and his family before the incident happened. Tonight, Mariel Mose reports on how the deaths have shocked the neighborhood.
It's terrifying. I can't put into words what I'm thinking.
Neighbors in these homes looking over Lake Superior in downtown Duluth are left in shock. Duluth police tell us a family of four, mom and dad, Rihanna and Sean Berry, along with their 12-year-old daughter, Shyway, and 9-year-old daughter, Sadie, were all shot and killed overnight while they were sleeping. Police say the killer was Rihanna and Sean's nephew, 29-year-old Brandon Taylor Cole Skogstad, who killed himself afterwards. Stephen Mitchell lives up the street from the Berries' home.
I mean, I hear their kids playing outside, and it's just a total shock to the whole neighborhood. It's devastating.
Another neighbor who works from home watched the police activity unfold Wednesday afternoon.
I saw the officers in their tactical gear put the ladder up and start breaking out windows of the house next door where the family lived, and that's when my heart sank.
Duluth police say Cole Skogstad was experiencing a mental health crisis, and they were initially responding to a welfare check on him near Hermantown early Wednesday morning. Their investigation led them to Berry's home on East 12th Street, where they found all 5 people dead inside. Sean Smith says he didn't know the family personally, but interacted with them often.
We bought Girl Scout cookies from her, so it's just one of those, even though we didn't know them personally, they're part of the neighborhood.
Those who live here tell me this tragedy will not be something they easily recover from.
I see the house every day, so I'm gonna think about it every day.
It's also a call that will never be forgotten by Duluth police.
Anytime you go into a situation like this and you see that tragedy, it is terribly heart-wrenching, and you can't unsee it.
The suspected killer posted on Facebook ahead of time saying, in part, "I cannot fathom how I came to this decision, but I do know this: if there is a God sitting in heaven, I wish so much that he grant my family the most peaceful heavenly afterlife possible." End quote.
New information tonight on the Fargo teen killed last year. The alleged killer, 23-year-old Arthur Colley, is heading to trial. He's scheduled for a 3-day felony jury trial beginning September 7th. Colley is accused of brutally stabbing 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson to death in the Party City parking lot back on June 4th. Documents say video surveillance shows Colley spent around 25 minutes assaulting the victim before running off. Tomorrow at Sanford, they're raising a flag in honor of Jupiter Paulson's organ donation. We'll bring you that story right here on Valley News Live.
A Grand Forks woman has been charged with murder in the overdose death of a woman in East Grand Forks last January. 43-year-old Stephanie Hageman is charged with 2 other felonies related to possession and sale of fentanyl. The criminal complaint against her is extensive. It's 38 pages long, detailing a woman found dead in a bedroom from an overdose last January on the south side of East Grand Forks. We'll get you more details when we can.
To the forecast, severe weather could be moving in as early as tomorrow. Meteorologist Nathan Hopper joins us with the latest. Nathan.
Yeah, thanks, Stacy. Tomorrow night, there's a chance of some strong and severe storms, mainly off toward the south and west of Fargo into South Dakota, but that same system will be hanging around on Saturday as well. Already starting to see some of the signs of this system approaching. Our Devils Lake Home Economy Skycam at this point shows dry conditions, but we are seeing on the radar imagery there are some showers out there at this hour. You can see, notice up to where it's coldest, up toward the north, seeing some blues. That is the chance of some snow. It's cold enough in those areas, but of course those greens mean some rain. Now, I've been looking at surface observations, haven't seen much in the way of stuff hitting all the way to the ground, but we have those deeper blues up toward the north. Could see some snowflakes flying there in your neck of the woods, even some light raindrops in the southern valley where things are warmer. Still seeing some 40s at this hour toward the south, 30s toward the north, so if there were some precipitation up there, it would be falling likely as freezing precipitation thanks to those colder temperatures. But of course, for this evening in Fargo, I do expect things to stay near 40 degrees thanks to that southeast wind around 10 to 20 miles per hour and those clouds. But notice by the time we get to that morning commute tomorrow, have the windshield wipers handy, expecting some rain showers to begin in Fargo. Expecting those rain showers to be more organized and begin earlier in Grand Forks. You may see a few flakes or flurries flying there up in the cooler air in the northern valley. Still breezy southeast wind For our friends up toward the north, of course, as you're saying, Stacy, Justin, chance of some strong to severe storms for us tomorrow night and Saturday. And boy, a roller coaster weather ahead. We'll break down the details in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Nathan.
New tonight, a Fargo man accused of killing a person in Mandan has pleaded guilty. Wade Bison is charged with killing a 77-year-old man by repeatedly hitting him with a stolen pickup. In court today, he tearfully claimed he backed over the victim the additional times after initially striking him as a form of mercy. A statewide large-scale drug investigation in Minnesota led to 14 arrests in multiple counties. The Cass County Sheriff's Office in Minnesota says $11,000 and a few pounds of meth have been seized so far. Investigators believe 35-year-old Jeffrey Lee Thorson is the leader of the ring. Officials say he used other people to transport meth from the Twin Cities to northern Minnesota to sell.
Also new tonight, a man's recovering after walking into a moving truck in downtown Fargo. Happened around 5:30 this evening, the intersection of 5th Street North and Northern Pacific Avenue. Police say 3 people witnessed the visibly intoxicated man trying to cross the street and then just walking into the side of a moving truck, causing him to fall to the ground. The man was transported to a local hospital due to his intoxication level. Police say he did not suffer any real injuries. This comes as Fargo police are highlighting problems in the city, all seemingly revolving around alcohol.
According to the chief, Fargo's biggest issue is underage drinking, overconsumption, and disorderly behavior. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling investigates.
Fargo police are taking steps to combat alcohol-related issues in the city. Just in the past month, on March 27th, police report that a woman had to be removed from the windbreak after becoming aggressive with the staff. On April 2nd, a woman was found at Twin Peaks who could hardly communicate with responders due to her intoxication. And on April 8th, at the windbreak, a woman was found to be so intoxicated she couldn't stand and had soiled herself. These are just some of the many instances involving alcohol in Fargo, but police are trying to get a better grasp of them. They have now begun to record every time they happen, hiring a criminal analyst in January to help break down the information.
We're able to now look at this in a deeper analytical perspective and start to identify almost like from a crime perspective.
The Liquor Control Board is now looking to crack down on businesses that overserve, exploring options on what they can do with ordinances, or even under the threat of removing a license.
The city issues the license, there's no guarantee that they're going to keep that license, and especially if they're non-cooperative. So I guess that's my concern. We do have lots of tools at our disposal.
However, it might not be easy to enforce overserving.
It's difficult to enforce unless you're almost right there, and I can observe that you appear to be very intoxicated, and I observe a bartender serve you when you're obviously, they shouldn't be serving you. So it's not an easy thing to know about or enforce.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
We reached out to the 2 bars named in that story, Twin Peaks and the Windbreak. They declined to comment this evening. Cebulski says the plan is to meet with Windbreak ownership ahead of the next Liquor Control Board meeting.
The Clay County Sheriff is investigating the death of a person found in a slough north of Holly. Deputies confirmed the dead body was found floating in a ditch yesterday afternoon. They also found tire tracks entering the ditch with small trees and branches knocked over what appeared to be tire rims under the water. Still not clear when this crash happened, and the victim's name has not yet been released.
New information about a fatal crash in Wilkin County. The victim was 72-year-old Judith Martha Johnson of Fergus Falls. Sergeant Jesse Graybo reports the roads were snowy and icy when her Jeep lost control on Highway 210 and spun out, crossing the center line in front of a semi. The person in the semi wasn't hurt. Highway 210 from Fergus Falls to Breckenridge was closed for about 6 hours yesterday before reopening.
Tim Solberg is accused of domestic assault and will head to trial next month. Police were called to Solberg's home back in January when officers learned a woman had been assaulted there. Court documents say the victim told police Solberg grabbed her, threw her to the ground, left her unconscious. 3 children were also home at the time. Documents state Solberg became uncooperative while officers tried to arrest him. His trial is expected to start May 3rd. Solberg is the former assistant city administrator in West Fargo. Another record-setting unemployment report released today by the federal government. The Labor Department reports the number of continuing claims nationwide is now the lowest since 1970. We've broken records several times in the last month or two. About 1.6 million people are on continuing unemployment, opposed to the more than 17 million unemployed at the peak of the pandemic. First-time claims also fell by about 2,000 last week to 184,000.
Also new for you tonight, all 15 candidates for a Fargo City Commission position faced off in a public forum hosted by the League of Women Voters. They're vying to fill just 2 open seats. Tonight they spoke about childcare in the city and property taxes, among other things.
I think there's lots of childcare available. I believe there's openings, but I think there's a lot of people, and a lot of them are sitting up here, that want us to have free. They also want to have free college. They want to have free everything. And it's like, who's paying for this? Because it ain't free.
Those neighborhoods are neglected because our government, our elected officials are focused on downtown because you know what? Big developer wants to be there. They want big tax breaks. And guess what? The burden goes on who? Us.
The next forum is May 4th. That's where you can hear from the candidates for mayor and the Fargo Park Board. The election is June 14th.